afternoon. It is June the 1st, 2024, and you're looking at my new bike, a Zero S. Brilliant piece of kit. It's my first bike. Over the years, I've ridden a couple of different peds and this and that, and family bikes people have had, but this is my first step into the world of motorbikes, I guess you could say. So I did my CBT back in January, got that done and dusted. That now gives me 2 years to ride up to a 125, or the equivalent of. I say equivalent of because the Zero range, and this is a Zero S, is an electric bike. So this is a 11 watt, which is the equivalent of a 125 combustion engine if you went down the kind of traditional motorbike route. Yeah, it's a beast of a bike. Probably most people wouldn't advise you to go for this as your first bike. If you've ridden before and you've got the confidence to do it, then yeah, by all means. I mean, I jumped in at the deep end, as most people do, and I hadn't even sat on one of these when I went for it. And I soon realised once I got on it, yeah, this isn't a toy. This has got some serious weight to it and some serious power. How this is on a legally rideable on a CBT is insane, and you'll see if you look at YouTube, there's a lot of videos saying the same thing. Forgive me, the bike is extremely dirty. I've cleaned it, but as I'm sure many of you know, and people that ride, it doesn't take long for these things to get coated in mud, especially with the British weather or the British summer that we're meant to be having. But yeah, so this is a 14.4 kilowatt battery pack on here. It's 11 kilowatt, as in the power, power that is available from the motor itself, and it is fast. So I picked this up in January, and like I was saying, I got on it and was like, okay, this is a whole other league. So I'd got on the Super Socos TC Max, I think I might have been looking at, which was the one that kind of does their top range in regards to distance and so on. And that, you sit on that, it's not got much weight to it. You could even pick the back of it up if you wanted to. It felt a bit, like a bit like a scooter, right? You jump on those scooters, they're lightweight, you nip around, you get confident on them and you're fine. I presumed this was going to be the same. So I put in an offer with one of the guys I met online on a kind of forum and Facebook chat group and stuff. Put in a cheeky offer, boom, 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 accepted. He dropped it off. I got on it and straight away was like, yeah, this isn't like a Super Soco. This is a different league. And these start new at around 15,000, I think it is now, roughly, and maybe a bit cheaper, a bit more expensive. The newer ranges have got all kinds of gadgets and gizmos that you can pay to unlock. Whereas this is a 2020 model, so it's kind of what you see is what you get. Brilliant bit of kit. If you want to go down the route of like you buy it, you've got it, then these are the models you kind of want around the 2020. Anything after that, I think anything after 2023, they started doing the whole similar thing with Tesla, right? You go in the app. Okay, I want to unlock more battery power. Boom, $2,500. Oh, I want to unlock the heated steering grips that are already installed, but if you want to use them, another 1,500 or $2,000, something along them lines. Whereas these were kind of a bike that was built. There's none of the heated grips. It's kind of just a twist and go. They've just given you the bare basics, right? What you want, what you pay for is what you get. And they're brilliant. So let me just quickly show you on here on the app. Hopefully you can see this, and hopefully you can hear me. You're probably going to get a lot of reflection back, so you might not see much on here. You've got performance, custom mode. So you have 3 modes on this. You have eco, custom, sport. Eco is what I'd suggest you start in if this is your first time on a bike. The torque is dramatically lowered. Acceleration, e-braking and motor braking is all switched on to I think around 80 to 100%. And that's what you want. That's what I needed. I left it in eco mode. Like I said, I picked this up in January this year. I left it in eco mode till about 3-4 weeks ago, just to get used to the bike. On occasion, I'd flick it into custom mode, have a play around, and see how how it handles. You definitely notice it. It's not like one of these, you know, what's the word? Gimmicks that you can tweak it and it gives you this and that. If you tweak this and the throttle and the acceleration and the torque, you feel it. So let that come with a warning. But like I was saying, yeah, I left this in eco mode just to get used to it. My first bike, get a feel of it. It's got some weight to it, so again, that was another. Let me just get used to this. What I've put it in now is, like I was just saying, custom mode. If you can't see this, so I'll read it out. So the top one is speed. I've capped that at 79 mile an hour. UK law over here, so top speed is 70. So I can probably drop that down. I think I gave myself a bit of wiggle room if I need to accelerate. Torque I've left at 60, or put it to 60. It was a lot higher. I think it was like 100% or 90. 60% for me is more than enough. In fact, I'll probably turn that down. That's insane. I actually thought it was at 100 because when you do pull away, even to try and overtake someone at 50, 60, the amount of power on this bike is crazy. Regen, I've set that to 0, and what that does, that's when you let go of the accelerator in eco mode, like with these electric cars, it automatically starts braking using the engine rather than the brake pads. It uses the engine to slow down. I've left that at 0 because then what that means is when I come off the accelerator, the bike doesn't lose any speed in regards to auto braking or disc brakes. Then you can kind of what you'd call coasting in a car, which you shouldn't do. But it's a little bit different in the electric bike world. So what that does is it means when I come off the accelerator on the A roads or the side roads, it holds its speed because you've got a heavy bike moving at speed. It will slowly drop down, but it means for me, I find that you get more range out of it because you hit and accelerate. You accelerate up to 25, 30. You let go of the accelerator, and then the bike continues going down the rest of the road using no power. And constantly doing that, I find you get more range out of it. That brings me on to braking, 100%. So that's not in regards to the disc braking. The disc brakes are all, like with any bike, they're a manual thing. You pull the brake lever, and yes, I have bent it. I'll get onto how that happened. But that's a standard thing. The more you squeeze, the more the brakes friction against the disc brakes. And that's just the front. The rear brake, like on most bikes, is a separate pulley. So that'll do your rear brake. I've got braking set to 100%, so that's to do with e-braking. So say you accelerate up to, say, 25 and you want to slow down. If you pull the front brake in, like literally 4 or 5 mil, you'll feel it start to slow down. And that won't be the disc brakes touching the brake pads. They might be slightly, but I don't think they will at that point. That is you engaging 100% of the engine to slow the bike down. So it's kind of the how the electric motors work. It kind of flips it into reverse to create that kind of magnetic pull in a counterclockwise way. I think that's what it's doing to slow the bike down. If you get good at that, after a while, you find that you never use the brakes because you're reading the traffic ahead. You're using the own bike's momentum and the motor to slow the thing down. So you find that disc brakes on these things, they go on forever once you get used to the bike. Obviously, if you're constantly squeezing pulling the brakes and stuff, then you are going to start wearing them out. But yeah, brilliant piece of kit. I'm trying to think what else to say. Where's the sun? It's trying to come. Hopefully we get a good summer. Some of the gear that I'm using at the moment, I've had a few bits, sent them back, had a few more bits, and I guess it's a standard thing with most bikers, right? You try gear, some of it works, some of it's absolute rubbish, and Some of it works for some people, some of it doesn't work for other people. The first suit I had was what was it? It was the Oxford Montreal 2.0, which is Gore-Tex with the waterproof lining. I believe it's like sewn into the jacket. Now the jacket was fine for about 4 months. The trousers around the inner leg, every time it rained, they would just suck the water in. You'd take them off when you get to work, and it looked like you'd basically wet yourself. So I sent them back, the trousers. They sent me another pair, same issue. And then the jacket on the Montreal 2, you've got 2 vents just above your what do you call it? Your inner arm, your elbow, your inside of your elbow. You've got 2 zips, and I think water was pooling in the zip covers, and it was getting through. So anyway, I've sent that back now. So I'm now trialing the Oxford Rockland, I think it's called. They've got the Stormland and Rockland, and it's the Rockland one I've gone for. It's a different design. It's kind of the older stuff that I find more reliable, where you've got the Gore-Tex jacket, you've got another lining inside that, which is like that waterproof tent material, which is a whole separate layer that's not fixed to the Gore-Tex jacket, so you can take it out, put it back in when you want. And then there's a third layer, like you get with most jackets now, the insulation layer, and again you can remove that. And it's the same setup with the trousers for the Rockland as well. So the trousers have the insulation layer in them and the waterproof kind of tent, I forget what you call it, like polyester or something. That material that, water just beads off and runs down. So I've kind of gone back to which I think was what the kind of more old school stuff really was, really. And then you just pull out the layers that you do and don't need. So I've been taking out the insulation layers out the trousers and the jacket, just leaving the waterproof layers in both, and that's been doing me fine during the warmer days. If it's really warm, then I'm wearing the jacket I've got on at the minute, which is the Oxford Arizona Air, I think it's called. And it's basically just a mesh jacket that holds the armour in place. I mean, it's holding my body heat in now, as I stand here in this car park alone. And it's doing a brilliant job. When I'm on the bike, you just feel the wind pass right through it. And I've worn it on really hot days, and it's fantastic. Especially if you're if you do like currying, and you're, or anything, if you're on and off the bike, hopping on and off, up and down stairs, you can build up quite an amount of heat in those bike clothes that don't really let a lot of airflow through unless you're, doing 30 mile an hour plus. So this jacket for just going around the city and hopping on and off, walking around shops or whatever, is brilliant. The gloves I've got is just some Riker ones I picked up. I forget what these are. They're summer, and again they let all the air through with knuckle protection and stuff. But I'll do a more in-depth review. Same with the boots. I've lost track. Jeans, yes. The Bike Shed. So they do, like most of these places, right? You think, oh, they just put in their stamp on it or whatever. From what I know, the little information I know, the Bike Shed actually design their own jeans. Obviously, I guess with a designing company. But that's what I'm wearing now, and I haven't found anything that feels quite as comfortable, to be honest. You don't realise you're wearing bike jeans, and I can't really get an angle of them now without looking like a bit of a weirdo staring at his leg. But basically, you've got a brilliant pair of jeans. They're AA rated from what I remember. They've got the I think it's D30, right? It's that kind of gel that hardens on impact. It's like that bright orange stuff. Again, I'll put details on the video so it kind of lines up and I'm not just chatting absolute rubbish. But yeah, go on the Bike Shed website. They've got bikeshed.co.uk. They're in central London, or kind of going towards East London, you know where their place is. But yeah, I tried on a few other jeans, Oxford stuff, and a few other companies. I forget the names. In Infinity Bikes is kind of quite a big brand shop that's kind of dotted around my way in central London. I didn't get on with them, and then I got to the pair that is around what these are, which is about 170. Didn't get on with them, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to go up to that price, I might as well just go back to the bike shed and get theirs. AA D3 Armour, job done. There is one brand, I forget the name of it, that are, I think, about 300 to 500 a pair. But everyone that, you know, you'll see plenty of reviews online, they are meant to be the Pierre de Resistance jeans that you can get. But maybe one day I'll spend that ridiculous amount of money on a pair of bike jeans. But at the moment, you know, 170 quid for protective jeans with the D3 armour and stuff in it. And you can pop the armour out and put in anything you've got. I tried some of the more old school foam on the knees. And again, I put the armour in on the knees. You couldn't really see it or tell. So you can kind of walk around them without looking too stupid or uncomfortable. But I mean, the D3 stuff, the D30 stuff, which is what is in there at the moment, one on each knee and then one pad on each hip. That does me well. If I'm, you know, kind of city running or backwards and from work and it's midsummer, when it gets a bit colder, I'll start putting the Rockland stuff back on. But yeah, that's what I'm up to at the moment. Hopefully this video comes out and the audio comes out okay. It's the I'm using the Drift Ghost Pro 4 XL with their microphone wired into my helmet, and I've got the Neotech 3 helmet, which again, I'll go into some more reviews later on if people enjoy the kind of content I'm doing around the bike stuff as a complete novice. He says. Hopefully I'm not getting too much of this stuff wrong. But yeah, I tried on it must have been about 15 helmets or so up at the sports bike shop. They've got a few stores dotted all over the UK, so yeah, do check them out. The staff there have been brilliant, and again, with the gear that I got off them that I wasn't happy with, sent it back, no questions asked, fully refunded, so you don't mind going back there and stuff. Cool. Yeah. Okay, thanks everyone, enjoy, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace. Feel of it like him, I mean, I left that a bit late, but it started to slow down. Check the mirrors. I say this out aloud all the time to myself, and it's a good thing to do. I am not remembering